It's a sales and marketing business. It's not a tactical business like general practice dentistry. And so they're recognizing the problem. And then once these patients show up at the office, obviously converting it and closing it. Doctors are good at taking care of teeth and placing implants and doing oral surgery. They're not like really consumed with the marketing side of it and the sales side of it, which is why this is so tricky, right?
It's a skill set. Yeah. So what makes you good at marketing probably doesn't make you great at being a clinical doctor, right? So use a different part of your brain because one is creative and one's more technical. And sales is that way. Sales is about communication. So if you're really good at sales, you're probably not great at something else. Welcome back to another episode of the Full Arch Advantage podcast. I'm your host, Gary Bird. I'm the founder of SMC National, where we help you level the playing field against the big guys out there so you can close the arches that you want and grow the way that you deserve. But you can't grow if you don't know how to close your cases. And today I have Stacy, who is in the field every single day closing arches. She closes 60 arches a month herself at 75%. And you might be wondering how she does that. In today's show, she's going to share that, and she's going to share where the biggest gap is in the full arch market when it comes to sales. And at the end, she has a special gift for you of how to get a fat discount on sales training. You're going to want to stay tuned for this one. All right, we are live with my friend Stacy, and she is at her office closing arches today, as always. And I'm really excited to talk with her because she just recently spoke at our event, the Full Arch Advantage, and did an amazing job and wowed a lot of people with her knowledge around closing. And if you don't know who she is, you need to look her up. She closes over 75% of her qualified opportunities to accepting treatment in the full arch game, which is amazing. It's almost triple what the industry average is. And that is awesome. So Stacy, what are some events that you have coming up? And I know you have a partnership with BioHorizons, and you're going to be speaking at several of their events coming up. Could you share some of those dates just in case the audience wants to catch you live?
Yes, thank you for having me. As always, it's always a pleasure talking to you, Gary. I'm so excited because I'm officially, I'm supposed to get the contract today, so I wouldn't say official yet, but after today, I'm going to be partnering with BioHorizons on their Teeth Express courses, which is really cool because these are, didactic training courses. But you know what? It's like what I really admire about BioHorizons is they're really trying to implement, they're seeing the problem, right? Just like everybody else, where this is becoming more and more popular and, doctors are learning how to do these cases clinically. But we know it's a sales and marketing business. It's not a, tactical business like general practice dentistry. And so they're recognizing the problems, and the problems aren't the clinical side of this business. The problems are, effectively marketing it. And then once these patients show up at the office, obviously converting it and closing it. And so BioHorizons realizes that, and they've, and we're partnering together. So I'm going to be basically traveling with them across the country. I'm going to be in Las Vegas on June 7th and 8th, speaking at all these events. I'll be in New York City, August 23rd and 24th with them. I'll be in Las Vegas, I believe, in October 18th and 19th, and then in Phoenix, November 8th and 9th. So, and then we're talking about doing more. So I love the fact that, this implant company, well, they, it's a win-win, right? Because if their doctors are more successful in closing full arch cases, they sell more implants. So it's great, But they're really vested in their doctors, understanding not just the didactic training and clinical portions. They realize there's a big sales component to this. So it's nice that this is finally all coming to fruition.
That's so awesome. And I know that you're really passionate about this. And I know there's a lot of other people in the market that are training or trying to help people. And I know you have a pretty, I'll say conservative, you have a hot take on the perspective of the current state around full arch sales training. So could you kind of break that down for me, how you see it and where we're currently at as a market as a whole?
Yeah. I mean, that's, you put it so nicely, Gary. So I just,
Hey, sorry to interrupt the show, but I want to make sure that you're going to DICOMA 2024. It's July 10th through the 12th. And guess what? We are going to be speaking on the main stage, and we're going to be hosting a boot camp as well. And we want to give away some free tickets. So how do you win these free tickets? You go to smcnational.com, click the little bar that says enter to win free DICOMA, and then you submit your information, and everybody's a winner. We're going to be giving a discount to everybody who enters, and we're going to be giving away some free tickets to the conference itself and to the boot camp. Make sure you sign up for these right away. Back to the show. And I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm not going to say I necessarily agree, disagree.
Okay.
I'll share my personal opinion after the fact, but I'm going to play devil's advocate and kind of push on you a little bit to get the most out of you.
Okay. So here's what's going on, and correct me, and feel free for people that are listening and can prove me wrong. Shoot the information my way, because what it is, and it's actually, it's disheartening what's going on, because, doctors are good at taking care of teeth and placing implants and doing oral surgery. They're not like really consumed with the marketing side of it and the sales side of it, which is why I feel like, because which is why this is so tricky, right? Because, they don't learn marketing and business, and they don't learn, sales and all that, in dental school. They learn how to place implants and do surgical procedures and all that. And so I just kind of feel like, as a whole, our industry in full arch, a lot of these doctors are getting led to believe, when they see most of these marketing companies telling them that they have sales training and this and that, full arch is, being good, in one vertical does not mean that you're going to be able to effectively sell another. And, of course, there's certain, is that the right word, vertical? Or markets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
like a product.
Yeah, it's a skill set. Yeah. So what makes you good at marketing probably doesn't make you great at being a clinical doctor, right? So use a different part of your brain, because one is creative and one's more technical. And sales is that way. Sales is about communication. So if you're really good at sales, you're probably not great at something else. So
yeah. Well, what I'm trying to say is you can't just listen, to be considered an expert in any field, you have to do it and be successful at it, correct? So what I'm saying is, even if you're a marketing company and you hire some consulting firm or some fancy speakers to come in and train on sales, that's going to give you maybe a foundation of sales. But I haven't seen any other company that I see a lot of these basically what I'm trying to say is, I see a lot of these marketing companies that say they have full arch sales training, but they're doing the training. So it's like, okay, have you ever sold a full arch case? So that's what I'm saying is, it's just, and, now that I created this LMS, a learning management system, and it's crazy because I was actually watching it last night. I'm trying to go through it and see if there's anything I want to add to it. And I'm like, I cannot believe the amount of information that I have in this course. So it's 28 courses, and 4 modules on the lead call, the clinical presentation, the sales presentation, and then a foundation of sales. I could not, because when you film it, you don't remember everything about it.
Yeah.
I went back last night at 11 o'clock at night, I was watching it, and the value that's packed into this course is crazy. I thought for sure, I'm thinking about maybe potentially adding to it. I was there's nothing even I need to add to this course. It's, we came up with a test at the end, where we're going to be, because, everybody retains information differently. Right. So, yeah. Yep. So that's all I'm saying is that I feel, I'm going to say it in a nutshell, that a lot of these marketing companies that are saying they have full arch sales training, they're just trying to entice these doctors, and then it's not going to give them any results, because they're not dealing with people that have actually sold full arch cases. That's where I really feel I have a competitive advantage, So
yeah. So if I hear you correctly, I'm just going to rephrase it to you. You're saying people can go out and teach you about sales. Anybody can go, you can go on YouTube and learn about sales. There's tons of videos about sales. But when you get into any particular vertical, whether you're selling cars or full arch or yachts or jets, they're all unique. There's certain, and the bigger the ticket item, the harder it gets, right? And the more unique and more niche it gets. So learning general sales skills is not a bad thing. It's just not going to get you to where you want to go you need to learn from somebody who's actually selling arches.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say, because it doesn't mean, if I were to go out right now and try and sell marketing, like actually, to be honest, no, I'm not going to go there. If I were to go out and try and sell marketing, I don't think I wouldn't be half as successful as I am at what I do with, because I've learned how to be effective at my product, which my product is helping people, right? It's not even selling like teeth, right? So, we talk about what are our true products, but yeah, you're 100% right. Like every sale is different. And just because someone's a sales professional does not mean that they're going to be able to take that skill set. It takes years to perfect, right? I've been doing this now in dental for 10 years. So that's what I'm saying is, even if they hire these fancy, sales professionals, having someone in the field doing this every day with all the changes and technology and workflow and, even the economy and interest rates. I mean, I just got a thing from a finance company that I use. They switched banks, and I tried to get a loan, and where I usually would get like 120 months, I got like the highest loan I just got was like 50 months. I don't even know what's going on with that. So I'm just saying it's always changing. So everything's always changing. And it's very, I think, a huge advantage if you can work with someone that's in the field that has a proven, strategy for success.
Yep, I'm totally with you. I see that as well. I see people who have gone through all the different courses, and the dentists usually start at the end, as they should. You need to start around the clinical component, because if you can't place implants, there's no reason to market or to sell them. However, that has nothing to do with being successful once you have that skill set. So you can be literally the best dentist in the world at doing full arch, literally the best, and not do arches, right? And it's because full arch, and I say this all the time on the show, but full arch is binary, meaning it's a yes or a no. You either get the arches or you don't. And at each step, so you start at the marketing, generating the opportunity. It's either a yes or a no. You either created those opportunities or you didn't. And then it's your lead manager, the person that's managing those leads and scheduling them. They either schedule them or they don't. And then they either show up or they don't. And then you either close it or you don't. And there is no, if at any place all the way through that, it's a no, you didn't do that, then you don't get the case. And most people are either really, really successful at full arch, or they're horrible at it. And it's because of what I just told you. And the big difference is too, with GP, it's just always been, and this is where a lot of these doctors that are moving into the space, trying to get training around it, their GP dentist, is that it's always just been get them into the hygiene appointment, get them to come back, and eventually they're going to buy the implant from you. Eventually they're going to buy the aligner from you. Eventually they're going to get that crown from you. And over time, you get all this dentistry, and you get a lot of dentistry over the lifetime of a patient. But with full arch, you're kind of consolidating their lifetime value all into one appointment.
Yeah.
Like lifetime value into one appointment, which makes it way more tricky. There's a lot more moving parts, and it just makes it harder. It's just a lot harder. So I know you do an amazing job of that. If someone wants to find your LMS, how can they find it?
Yeah, that's a great question. They can just go to www.fullarchsalesacademy.com. So just like it's spelled, fullarchsalesacademy.com. And you will find the LMS on there. And like we talked about, I mean, I can't think of a better, it's also one thing I want to add about the course is it's basically an onboarding sales training, right? So it's like, I was talking to my husband about this last night. I was talking to him about, if I were to go and train an office, right? And they were just to pay me an hourly fee, it would be, probably equivalent, if not more, than you would pay to have all the courses digitally, right?
Yeah.
But then guess what? What happens if are you going to sit there? Is the doctor going to sit there for 10 hours and do the training too? Because what happens when your treatment coordinator leaves or your sales rep? You don't have that. So I was telling my husband, like, it's onboarding sales training for full arch for the rest of your career. And definitely you'll always have it. So yeah, it's really awesome. So
and then Stacy was kind enough to give us a discount, a $2,000 off discount. So normally you're going to pay more for this, but you're going to get $2,000 off. So the discount code is Stacy all caps, STACY, no E in there. I'll say that one more time. STACY, all caps. That will give you a $2,000 off discount. Go to Sales Academy, fullarchsalesacademy.com, put that discount code in. That's for a limited time. So if you're hearing this, go jump on that. You will enjoy it. You will really like the content. So far, I use this for my clients. So I use all of Stacy's products and it works amazingly. I've seen people go from not closing to closing, just never closing an arch to all of a sudden now they're closing 2-3 arches a month. And I've also seen people who leveled up with her information that have gone from closing several arches a month and doubled that. So there's so much opportunity around this. So go check that out. Stacy, as always, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a good one.